My humble pranams to Brahmarshi Patriji and then Kartikeyan sir and all the Buddha CEOs in front of me and my parents, Ishwaram Garu and Appaji, who gave me a credible opportunity to live in this physical body and to serve the humankind. And Paul Vijay Kumar, my senior mentor. So, initially when I started my journey in 1995 with Patriji, as a medical doctors, we listen from our patients. So here I call as PG, means patient God. We always call them as patient God, not just patients. So you try to understand the word. When I say PG, it is patient God. So with the PGs, whenever we stay with them, I always listen. I went to some super specialist and I got cured. But initially I used to listen. I went to Pyramid, I went to Patriji, and then I got cured. So that word is like a boomerang. And then I started working on my own self and then try to understood all the principles of spiritual science and wisdom, which is there behind the invention of spiritual tablets today. And so before starting my presentation, I would like to give some miraculous transformations, because the chronic illness anyway, we will understand easily one can get that psychosomatic component. But whenever there are certain major challenges for the medical community, like the factor 8 deficiency, hemophilia bleeding disorder, usually we listen from the people, in 1 lakh people, whenever there is a cut, so the bleeding will profusely will continue. That is what physically we know, but usually for those patients, what happens is whenever they are walking, a trivial damages, of the capillaries will automatically, they will present with a swollen joints. So one young boy came with that swollen joints and he went through medical system. And after that, 3 years, he took around the, hospitals, and then finally he landed in meditation. So he is working in a private firm in stitching the gunny bags. So he's a labor, basically daily labor kind of. So from that point, he started meditation, and then he got cured with all the wisdom and then intense meditation. So now it has been 11 years. There is no medication and then leading a healthy and happy life. So the factor 8, initially 0.98, that comes to 138% just in a span of 1.5 year time. Until now, happily he is doing his work. He got married, he have children, and then currently 1.5 year ago, he came forward and he understood, my life is to serve a similar kind of people, so let me come out of my material profession. And currently he is working as a center in charge in a holistic center near Hyderabad. So teaching meditation to the people who are approaching for the health. And so coming to this, we always understand that whenever we say the thyroid problem got cured, the reasons I am going to present to you anyway in this presentation. But whenever there is a tumor, usually, so I am trying to speak about this. Whenever there is a tumor, usually we try to understand that it is only a mass, like yesterday Chandrasekhar is explaining. Either we can perceive it as a particle or a wave. So whatever the mass that is there, physically we feel that it is a mass, but in fact, it is an energy ball, we can say. So this guy who approached me almost like 1.5 year ago, and then with a 5 centimeter tumor, even though it is a benign, not serious one, but he has that psychological feeling that it may turn into cancer, and then because of his little OCD, always he feels very sad about it. And then from that point, he was admitted into the holistic center near Visakhapatnam. Almost he stayed in Ashram Dharma for 40 days, doing intense meditation 4 to 6 hours in a day. And then again he went back home. Again, second time he came. And then in the second journey, he realized the importance of the speech. And then from the childhood, he is very much interested, has a passion in music. So he downloaded that Hotstar app that is, gives you support for the singing. And then he started working on it, parallelly doing intense meditation. So it gave almost like after meditation, so this is what you are seeing, a complete clean neck. The tumor was completely gone. So here, whatever we are seeing it as a tumor, It is not the physical choma we are seeing, it is the energy construction behind that. There is a wisdom. And then comes to, so this is a very rare disorder, myasthenia gravis, where the neuromuscular autoimmune disorder. Steroids is the only solution. This guy, when he met us, he is almost on the bed for more than 6 to 8 months. Tried to commit suicide for 2 times because there is no hope for him. And by that time, he is using almost like 80 mg steroids. From that point, on the bed itself, over phone, he started meditating. Starting with half an hour, 3 times a day, slowly 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Pravina, who is the North India in charge, she is the teacher actually, over phone for him. And with intense meditation for 6 hours in a day, slowly he started getting out of the bed and started walking. Before, he used to fall twice before going to washroom. And then slowly he started walking. And then within a span of 1 year, his steroids was reduced to 20 mg. By 3 years, it is reduced to 5 mg. And it's been almost like 11 years today. He is totally onto zero medication. Happily, he is traveling across Europe and so many countries and teaching meditation to everyone. He went all the way to USA, to Chicago, for the treatment, and they said that the only management is steroids. So a myasthenia gravis patient without steroids, happily going into his journey, is really a great miracle. And another part of the story is, his business itself is drug distribution. From Karnataka, from his home, in lorries, tons and loads of medicines will go away, but the same medicine is not helpful for him, for his own disease. So from that pathetic condition, he turned into meditation. Only with the intense meditation only, he has completely cured himself. And later on, slowly he learned the wisdom part and doing the service to other people. So regularly he is contributing his own service. So here all the cases I presented, these are all like challenges for the medical community. A rare disorders where people can't understand. With a simple meditation, coming out of some fear, some psychological problem, that is different. Working on exceptional illnesses. So the moment I have seen such kind of major transformations, then one fine day I understood it is now my call. Patriji, he came full time. And then maybe when I am spending 2 hours in a day, when I am running my 25-bedded rural hospital, working on the similar lines, I am just spending only late night 1:30 to 2 o'clock in my second sleep. Before that, I used to spend with the patients who are admitted in my hospital for this spiritual kind of training. Then one fine day I thought, so if at all this is going to be giving a great results, why not I do the same thing? So thanks to all my family members, especially the Chandra, who is educated, so he supported me a lot in the initial part of my journey, so that I came out. And then full time, I started working on the spiritual tablets journey, conducting workshops and conducting counselings, establishing rural health centers. The journey started going on from 2008 onwards. So here to understand from the WHO definition, we need to understand that it is not just absence of sickness on the body, it is the sum total of physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. So the WHO definition itself gives us the clarity. We need to understand it is an holistic approach. Physical health has to be cured very clearly, and then the mental health, and then social environment. A lot of people, after working on the body and mind illnesses, now people are approaching with relationship breakages, their own land problems, wherever they have that financial things, that keeps, ringing in their brain. Even though all the comforts are there, but still they are affected with that social environment. So all these cases, the solution is intense meditation followed by wisdom. So just to look into that ancient wisdom part, so when the breath is steady, the mind is steady. When the mind is steady, the body is healthy, by Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So the meditation that we are doing, the Sukha Pranayam, Yogaha Chittavrutti Nirodhaha, once we make clean of all the unwanted thoughts, and if we go to that zero state, that is where we can experience, understand the void, and we can download the cosmic energy. So that's why making the mind clean is the key factor here. Similarly, a healthy mind is the greatest treasure. The mind can heal the body when it's full of peace and divine thoughts, by Swami Shivananda. Similarly, the Ayurvedic wisdom, and then by Gautam Buddha, be a doctor unto yourself, given by Patriji, similar to, and then if we come to Jesus Christ, in Telugu it is very clearly, it says, the Vakyamu Swasthata Parishunu, healing through word. Whatever the beautiful words in the name of wisdom that we are giving, the meditation we are teaching, that really gives health for the people. And in Bhagavad Gita, Jnanagni Dagda Karmanam, the knowledge of fire if we create, that is what is going to really clear the disease. As a medical doctors, we read about the infection theory, post-traumatic theory, genetical theory. So these are the theories that we read in medical theory when we understand the human being as a body. But here, if we understand as a BMS complex, then real theory starts with the spiritual codes. So what exactly the meditation does? As of now, we know very clearly from the meditation, of course, we download a lot of cosmic energy we can generate that will automatically work on the chakras. This is the existing science. If you take any paper, that will be depicting only this flow of spiritual health, which acts on the chakras, the energy centers, that will automatically influence the glands at various stages of the body. Once the glands are activated, then there will be that positive hormones will be there and will be out of the stress hormones, and that will automatically gives us the health. So this is what the chain I used to understand from any spiritual book or the papers if I go. But my initial part of the journey, I always listen from Patriji, meditation gives wisdom and wisdom gives liberation. So by the time most of the people understood the meditation part and they are doing intensely. So slowly the nature made me to understand the wisdom principles as well, to know, to understand the root cause of the illness. So this 25 years of spiritual tablet research has led to the development of these spiritual tablets framework, we call it as. So in this, the symptoms and signs which we are getting, in fact, these are not exactly the symptoms on the physical body. If you see an iceberg, you will see the tip. So similarly, whatever the symptom that we are experiencing in the physical body or the mental frame or in the social environment, it is only a simple pointing out that we are deviating from the original purpose. So that spiritual perception is important first. And then, in some cases, it is a protective phenomena. There are people with a dribbling urine, they will say, 20 years I am not going out of the home very freely, I cannot expose to the community because of that particular suffering. In fact, once we understand in a big picture, it is a protective phenomena based on the family members and the surrounding community. For him, the most of work has to happen within. For that, they will choose as a pre-birth plan and then come over here. And after getting into meditation and the conscious journey, within no time, they will cure that particular part. Whatever that has happened, it is a part of the protective phenomena we can understand. Similarly, decoding the body part that is affected, whatever the physical body part that is problematic, that we have to understand based on the chakra, based on the function of the physical body, we have to understand. That gives us a wonderful idea to understand the spiritual reason behind the illness. And then, so when I say the spiritual reasons at the intellectual level, they are like commonly we discussed about in the last yesterday and today in most of the speeches we are trying to understand that fear factor is there, emotional imbalance that is very common, and then of course the law of karma we need to accept, and the Arshad Vargas, ego, greed, anger, all those management is important because the mind waves is equal to body waves. And similarly, understanding the true potential. We are all know that we have telepathy, we can read the aura of the people, we can levitate. These are all the powers we understand by book. But when it comes to the reality, we are unable to apply in day-to-day life. Like I am using this hand for this, we have to use our innate powers, which we are unable to do because the community consciousness is at a very low level. The reason for this conference and making these synthesis activities is only to bring the people together and to educate and to raise the community consciousness. Once we raise the community consciousness, then whatever the true potential we have, that we can exhibit. When you are meditating, definitely you can levitate a feet. if you meditate in a cave for 6 months or 1 year. But once you come out of it, and then if you are in the community, then automatically you are bound to go with the community consciousness laws. So that is the reason these conferences are very, very important to live with our true potential, what we are realizing through Swadhyaya and meditation. And then understanding the who am I, the real purpose of life, and coming out of spiritual laziness and learning that constant learning attitude, compassion, kindness, and oneness for the positive qualities. Similarly, understanding the pre-birth plan. So these are some areas where really we try to work out and try to understand the true reason behind the illness based on their spiritual experiences that they give. So the meditation experiences, third eye visions, the dreams that they get, and day-to-day coincidences, whatever they are experiencing through their energy, and intuitive messages, heartfelt points that when they read a spiritual book which is prescribed during the spiritual counseling, and then master's guidance, and then finally the diseased body part itself will give us a message. So basically the spiritual intellect is the root, and then the physical health is the fruit. Sorry. Just to give you what are the spiritual tablets, because people thinks in rural areas, after conducting a day-long workshop, at the end of the hall, a senior person sitting, and then he'll ask me, sir, you said a lot of things, I am very happy. Give me some tablets, I'll go home, because all the way I came only for this. So I don't want you to fall in that pit. So here the spiritual tablets mean they are not just physical pills or an ointment or an injection. These are all intellectual principles. Starts with meditation, intense meditation, of course, which is very, very important. That is the fuel to go forward. When we talked about the thyroid illness, abstaining from negative speech and adopting a positive speech and a miraculous speech. And for the people who are very talkative, we put them onto silence tablet. And then people who are not expressing, for them we will give the mic in the regular programs to speak and spell out well. And similarly, teaching meditation to the other people. And then finally, learning singing if they are passionate about music. So these are the 5 spiritual concepts which are, which have wonderfully worked and cured hundreds and thousands of thyroid problems, including the swellings I told yesterday, I show you before. Currently, we are working with autism and ADHD kids. There are 3 levels. In the first, the energy level, for the child, we apply all the 10 energy supports. And then for the parents, we put them into intense meditation. When the parents are into intense meditation, their energy will increase and the house energy also will increase. That will automatically gives a harmony in the house. And slowly, they will go to the level 2. In the level 2, we work with specific patterns. All these autism and ADHD kids, they will show a certain patterns in their day-to-day life. So when we decode them properly in a spiritual manner, if the parents apply that, and miraculously, the patterns that they are throwing maybe from 10 years or 12 years, immediately they will stop. Parents also will become surprised. A lot of case studies on that. And then finally, they will go to the third level where the ESP abilities, when the child is absent in one side, in the coin, the other side will be very brilliant. So they will have a lot of innate abilities. The true potential will be there. That the parents will start understanding. So there, we try to work with the other dimension connections of the children, as well as the parents also try to understand. And in the last, before coming here 1 month, I had my US tour. Since 1.5 years, I am working with 2 autism kids with ADHD spectrum, a little. Now the parents stopped complaining about them. They are saying that we have to evolve a lot to understand my kid. That is the word they gave to me. Because they came on a specific purpose to understand, to have the higher connection. That is what they're trying to communicate with the parents. So this is what I understood, and then that is what we are trying to give them. So all the research papers, they say basically meditation and the wisdom that gives a wonderful cure. So the recommendations from these 28 years of my journey, the reason for attending this conference all the way from UK, only to get support from the people who are like-minded, because the other class I am listening, In US, a lot of research has done. Initially, when I met Patriji, I asked Patriji, let me go into the research area and then prove all these science. Then he said only one thing. Already research papers are there, hundreds and thousands. Now the people has to know about this meditation. You just work in the field, that will speak one day. So then in that Y junction, I have chosen to work with the people in the rural masses. Almost more than 15 years, I traveled across rural areas and then I spread this meditation. And a lot of miraculous transformations came. And then slowly, I did my public health. And then now in Europe, I am doing. The reason coming, I am very happy with this conference because we are trying to educate the leaders who are the policy makers so that this will go in a mass way. And they are the ones really take it to the people. So, a few recommendations with this I'll conclude. The medical community should understand that the investigatory methods has to be extended to the body, mind, soul level. That is very, very important. Without that, we cannot understand the true reason of the disease. Whenever the MRI is invented, then only now we are able to do something on the brain. Similarly, the investigative methods has to be extended. Second thing, incorporating spiritual health modalities to all the existing health system as a curriculum. This is very, very important. Any Ayurveda, Unani, Reiki, pranic healing, gem therapy, chromotherapy, magnetotherapy, 18 systems are there. We need to combine the meditation and spiritual science to those systems, then they become complete. And then creating facilities and building infrastructure in all government and private sector so that we can give this great health through meditation. And then encouraging extensive research in spiritual health to reveal the positive and miraculous outcomes of meditation leading to spiritual health. So that a lot of research has to be done in that area. And this is the most important thing. When I traveled in US, there, especially when curing the cancers, there are alternative modalities because the insurance guy is not helping, it won't support. So that's why the insurance sector has to come forward to give insurance, especially benefits for these kind of alternative modalities. And then finally, awareness programs among rural masses to understand the importance of meditation and spiritual health awareness programs. So thank you very much. So in this limited time, I try to give the wisdom principles as well as importance of meditation, not only a simple chronic illness, in very exceptional and serious illness also. And all these 25 years, we are doing the same. And now we need to establish the holistic health centers across the globe, where the residential units, so many things in India we built, and now we are doing the same in abroad as well. And then where we can give this complete health to the people. Thank you very much.